So when I first had my consultation with Alicia, I was talking to her about getting married locally, and she could just tell in my face that it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted a really small wedding, and I'd always wanted a destination wedding. And she gave me the permission and encouraged me to just follow what I wanted to do. So we ended up planning a destination wedding. And I asked her if she would be okay with traveling to Italy, which she loves doing destination weddings and going to Europe. So that was really helpful because she had a whole network there. I went to Alicia a lot and asked about catering and venues when I was searching, and she was able to reach out to the people she knew and helped me out with planning an Amalfi Coast wedding. And she even helped me with the dress code and like just the little details that I didn't really think about because it was so overwhelming doing a destination wedding at times, which it really wasn't. But in the first few stages, and she kind of helped break it down of what I needed to look for, the questions I needed to ask. Without her, I think it just would have been a mess. Having a destination wedding was so much fun. I recommend it to everybody if you don't have a huge family or you're okay with doing a smaller wedding. It gives you permission to invite the closest people in your life. And if you have vendors, especially if they're coming from America, like Alicia, who know what they're doing in Europe and they know the questions to ask and how to get around, it makes it a lot easier. And you get to just spend the whole weekend having this epic vacation with your people, not just your family, but with your best friends. And you can plan different outings. And there's so many different ways that you can do a destination wedding without feeling like, oh, everyone's traveling just overseas. For me, most people are going to love it if it's planned correctly. You definitely want to plan a few days with everyone and make it feel like a vacation, and it's going to be the best experience of your life.
Working with Alicia was awesome. I knew nothing about weddings. Both of my sisters are wedding photographers, and they highly recommended Alicia. So we just went ahead and booked her. And before we knew it, we were getting a package in the mail that had scone mix and measuring spoons with our soon to be new initials on them. So from the very beginning, it was just a really great experience, just out of the gate. My reaction the first time I saw my photos was like, did we even get married in this country? I think I died a little bit. And looking through them, I just couldn't believe how beautifully our rainy wedding day was captured. It looked like we had gotten married in Ireland. And I am very anxious on camera. And to see images back of myself, like I go into every experience thinking, okay, if there's one that I would put on my wall, I'm happy. And to have an entire gallery of images where I felt like I looked amazing as well as Dan. Um,
I was there too.
it was amazing.
I think Alicia has a really special talent for getting very natural, comfortable performances and poses out of people who may be very uncomfortable on camera, uncomfortable smiling, how to move their body, how to just be free and natural. And I think the pictures really came out looking like an environment was created where we could be our best natural photogenic selves.
My favorite experience with Alicia was our wedding a month before our venue was shut down, and we had to replan our entire wedding. And not only that, we ended up with a on and off rainy day. We were having trouble trying to figure out how to get married outside because we really didn't have an inside option because of the rain. And we were getting some flack from other vendors about wanting to continue to get married outside between breaks of rain. And I remember Alicia pulled me aside and said, "This is why we have insurance. If you want to get married outside, you will get married outside." And she took the reins of the other vendors at our wedding and created an environment where we could, between breaks in the rain, walk down the aisle and get married the way we hoped we would. So that was my best memory.
So we chose Alicia before we even met Alicia. We chose her the second we walked into the Wadsworth Mansion, which was our wedding venue, because we were speaking with a bunch of the staff there, and there happened to be a photo book of Alicia's photos on the coffee table at the mansion. And the second I saw the photos, I turned to Jessica, who works there, and I said, "Who is this photographer? We need her." The photos literally looked like they were like a luxury wedding like in a magazine. The staff there directed us to Alicia, and I knew immediately after speaking with her then and seeing her super classic, elegant, romantic photos that she was the one for us.
We wanted something that would capture us, but we also knew the style that we wanted. And I think we got a little bit of both. I think, like Sarah just said, we got that kind of classic, feels like we're like in a magazine, but then at the same time, we also captured our personalities in the photos, and it fits perfectly with what our aesthetic is and what we wanted, what we could see up kind of in our future home. And now that they're up in our home, right, it just makes perfect sense.
We had a very large wedding and an especially large bridal party. We had 13 bridesmaids and 13 groomsmen. But Alicia and her team made the entire process so easy. Before the wedding, Alicia gave us a timeline with every hour broken down, and she assured us that even though we had a lot of moving parts, that everything was going to go seamlessly. And she also worked alongside all of our other vendors to make sure that could happen well. Alicia was also super knowledgeable about our venue, the Wadsworth Mansion. She knew the good lighting, the good areas to get great photos, and she offered a lot of different suggestions in terms of where she wanted to photograph us so we could get the best shots.
We didn't want to worry about anything, and I think the pictures specifically we did not have to worry about it. Throughout the day, even after the wedding, every one of our vendors said how great the team was. Sarah and I were kept on schedule, but nothing ever felt rushed, nothing ever felt like forced, right? We were able to do everything we wanted to do, get all the photos that we wanted to get, and everything just felt super natural. It honestly felt like we were working with friends, even though our relationship had really only started, maybe a year out from the wedding.
Right after we got the wedding photos, we bought a house. And so we printed, I think we have 6 or 8 of them in giant 8x10 frames. And they are on a wall right between our living room and our kitchen, which is a super high traffic zone in our house. So we look at them every single day. And every time somebody comes over and we host people, they always stop and look at the photos. And it just allows us to kind of revisit the day and talk about important memories and important parts of the wedding that we loved. And we're lucky to have those photos because we relive that special day every single time we look at them.
My phone screensaver changes every single hour to different photos from the wedding. I did not set that up for myself. She did. Right? So I get to relive different moments of the wedding daily. And I think the amount of photos we got, the quality of photos that we got, we're 2 years removed from the wedding, and we can still gift people in our lives photos from the wedding. And it's a different photo than what we gifted them last year. I think like my grandmother, right? Like we gift her a photo every single birthday or Mother's Day. But I think just we look at the photos every day. They fit into, again, the aesthetic of our home. And there's more photos, right, that we would print. We've actually talked about kind of cycling through them. And just, again, the variety that we have, the fact that it captures our personality, but also fits into kind of a more just like serious, like elegant part of our lifestyle feels really good.
We had a really great experience. Alicia and her team really took the time to personalize everything that they were doing for us, whether it was from our initial photo shoots to our wedding day. And one of the best things was that they found ways to bring in small details or little things like taking pictures of the accessories or special moments that we really hadn't thought of or suggested that tied together a lot of the photos that we got, especially in our albums that they made for us, and they sprinkled those throughout those as well.
Not only just the wedding day, but the events outside of the wedding day too were really special. Our engagement photo session with Alicia, she had really creative locations and good suggestions on outfits to wear along the whole journey of leading up to our actual wedding day, just little surprises and ideas that we didn't even think about planning into for our wedding that she thought of for us that turned out really, really special.
So we worked with Alicia for our engagement photos specifically, and those went incredibly well. And then for our wedding itself, we had an associate photographer of hers, and it really felt seamless. It didn't seem like there was any difference between styles or priorities or how we were treated. Everything was really professional throughout, and it felt like we had the same experience both times and got the same treatment. And honestly, everything turned out so extremely well. I don't think we would have changed anything.
Favorite photos from our wedding day were kind of a surprise to us in the best way possible. They were snips from our day that caught us off guard, but we were like really relaxed in our photos and our favorite photos and just looked like us. We have them up in our apartment. We still have them as our lock screen on our phone. We look at them every day and they're just beautiful. I definitely wanted a photographer for our wedding day that fit kind of the overall look and feel of what we were going for that day. Something that was going to be timeless because, I still look at my parents' wedding photos from years and years ago. So we knew that we wanted photos that were going to last a whole lifetime.
I think one of the things that really stood out working with Alicia and her team were that a lot of the photos are taken in public spaces, but they all still turn out to be like intimate, interesting photos. You don't even, if you weren't there, you wouldn't have known that it wasn't like a closed set. Specifically for us, we took our photos in front of the New York Public Library, and you can't even tell that anybody else was there that day. Even on like the wide angle shots or the bigger, more architectural pieces, like you really can't. So the timing and just the setup for the photos and the patience were really impeccable.
We knew it was going to be a professional day working with Alicia and her team, but really what surprised us most was how comfortable we felt the entire time and really how fun it was actually getting all the pictures taken of us and being the center of attention.
We definitely both expected it to be a pleasant experience, but it was awesome just how much fun we had with it, and one of our favorite parts of the day, I think, actually. In working with Alicia, I think what stood out the most is actually just how helpful it was, everything leading up to the event and our engagement shoot as well. Having someone to help kind of bounce ideas of outfits off of and just be able to share a Pinterest inspiration board with. I didn't expect to have so much help kind of surrounding the event, so that really stood out. And then also just as being as relaxed as we were.
I couldn't agree more. We expected day of the event to be perfectly planned and coordinated, but really all the little things leading up to it made it such an amazing experience.
I think our biggest priorities were making sure that the photos that we got of the day would be photos that we wanted to look at all the time and that we wanted to have hanging around our house, and just that they felt like pieces of art to us, and weren't the typical posed photos of 50 people in the family all kind of smiling, standing there awkwardly. We wanted to really make sure that they captured us and what the day was to us.
Absolutely, stuff that we could hang all around our home and love it every single second.
I have too many to say I have one favorite, but a couple that stood out were we had our dog there for a little bit, and there's just this really sweet photo of us holding hands and our dog looking up at us, and it was just so special to have the fact that he was there captured. And then another one with our flower girl, just that one you weren't in, sorry, but it was me and Taylor holding hands, and just the way she was looking up at me I thought was so sweet and just a special thing to have captured, because I don't know, she won't be that age forever, but I think it was really special to both me and her mom.
We chose Alicia just from her style, the timeless nature of all of her photos. We just loved looking at all of them, even if they weren't from us, just of other couples, just the way she captures little moments throughout the entire event and really portraits that we just love looking at.
I think I wanted photos that captured what the day was like and weren't all posed. So it was really nice to have the style of just having candid photos that were so artistic and just effortless. The first time that we looked at our photos, I think my face hurt because I couldn't stop smiling, but it just felt instantly like we were back in that moment, and it was just really special. We look at them all the time. We not only have them hanging around our house, but a beautiful photo album that we love to flip through, and our family is always asking to look at when they come over. So I think we were both just really excited to see how they came out, and we knew they would be special, but I think they exceeded our expectations.
From day one, Alicia was all in. She was there to answer any wedding question that I had, whether it be photography or bridesmaids' dress colors. Alicia made us feel like we were her only clients, giving us a personal wedding experience.
Every difficult situation that arose on the wedding day was handled swiftly and without our concern.
What got me on the phone was the art of Alicia's photography. Every photo looked like it belonged in a Vogue editorial. But what really sealed the deal for me was talking to her. I felt an instant connection, and from then on there, I knew that she was going to bring my wedding vision to life.
We look at our wedding photos weekly. We love returning to the emotions that we felt in those moments. It always brings us back to such a blissful place.
We have two favorite photos we couldn't possibly choose between. One of them is at the end of the aisle. We're kissing each other in a dip, and you can see how blissfully in love we are. On top of that, you get to see everyone cheering around us. The other is us standing at the altar, and you can see the pure beauty of the 1800s era church shining through.
We had an emergency situation where one of my groomsmen's pants didn't come in his garment bag. Alicia's assistant came to the rescue by giving us a pair of pants from his car, both saving the day and keeping us worry-free on our wedding day. It was very important to us to have somebody that made us feel comfortable. I'm not natural in front of the camera, so we needed somebody to create that environment for us.
I wanted light, airy photography that would bring my winter wonderland to real life. And I needed a photography that had their own artistry. And nothing says artist like Alicia. My advice would be finding somebody that you feel a genuine connection with. It's so special on your wedding day to feel like your photographer is your friend and they're there celebrating you the entire time.
It's important to find somebody that makes you feel comfortable. It makes it feel like you're not taking pictures.
I love looking back at the bridal photography we did on the Yale campus under those columns, because I just think every single picture is so perfect and it looks like it was straight out of a magazine.
I love the images of when we were giving our vows. They were very emotional, and you can see that we felt it.
That is true. That's probably my favorite. There's a picture of from behind my head looking at Cullen, and he's like dabbing a tear, and it just like captures every emotion in that photo perfectly.